After finding Miguel all banged up, Johnny took him to his house, where his mom yelled at Johnny saying, "Stay away from my son." And Johnny feels really bad about this, so he goes on a bender, walking aimlessly down the street, drunk, when he sees a guy spray painting, and he trades the guy beer for his spray paint can. Because across the street is a giant billboard for LaRusso Auto Group, and he hops up there and spray paints a giant dick going into Daniel's mouth. So the next morning when Daniel's driving to work, he's already stressed out because he's been trying to make it with Sam, but she's been giving him the cold shoulder. And then Amanda calls him saying, "Hey, I don't know if you heard about the billboard." And he assumes that it's a billboard for his rival, Tom Cole, because that billboard is huge. But she says, "No, I meant our billboard." And that's when he sees it. The giant dick. I mean, the thing's huge. So he calls the police and he wants somebody arrested. He's infuriated about this. But Amanda reminds him, if they arrest everybody who's walking around spray painting dicks, there'll be no room in the jails for actual murderers. She implores Daniel to not let it bother him. They'll just paint over it. And Daniel sends his 2 sales associates up on the billboard to do just that. Now, that same morning, Miguel wakes up and his mother is very concerned. She offers to call the school and tell the school about the bullying situation, but he says, "No, you're only going to make it worse." He wants to continue training with karate, but his mom thinks that Johnny's a bad influence. And Miguel's grandmother is actually on Miguel's side, saying, "Hey, he just found something that he really likes doing. And clearly, he needs it, so let him do it." But his mom is very anti-Johnny and anti-karate. And Miguel is telling his mom he's a great guy, really defending him, having no idea that a few doors down, Johnny is passed out in a drunken stupor. And that's when Johnny is awoken by a phone call from Robby's school once again. But this time, it's not like Robby had drugs on him. No, he's just skipping school, telling the school that him and his dad were going on a kayaking trip. But it was only supposed to be for 2 weeks, and that was a month ago. So Robby hasn't been in school for a month, and the school tells Johnny that they're going to need him back in or he's expelled. So Johnny heads out trying to find Robby when he runs into Miguel, and Miguel tells him, "My mom's not really into this karate thing, but I think we can train." And Johnny just cuts him off, telling him it's not going to work. He's going to shut down the dojo. So Johnny heads to Robby's house, and Miguel heads off to school. And Johnny finds Robby at his house with a couple of miscreants, and Robby's been spending his days stealing computers, selling them on Craigslist, just getting into a bunch of trouble. And Johnny starts taking some pot shots at Robbie's mom, which Robby takes real offense to. Johnny gets back on track, though, saying, "I get it. School sucks, but you have your whole future to look forward to." And now it's Robby's turn to take a pot shot back, saying, "Oh yeah? Maybe I can grow up and have my own karate dojo in a strip mall." Because Robby has seen the flyers, but Johnny doesn't take that bait, saying, "We're not talking about me, we're talking about you here. You can still make something of yourself." And Robby takes another pot shot, saying, "Oh, you mean like your old buddy Daniel LaRusso? Yeah, it must be real nice to be a winner." And that one really stuck with Johnny, to the point where he says, "You know what, I don't even care. Go to school, don't go to school, do what you want." And that is part of the problem. In Robby's opinion, Johnny doesn't care. He never did. So Robby sends him on his way saying, "I don't want to go to school, and my mom's cool with it, and I'm cool with it, so you can leave now." But Johnny's not done. He goes and tracks down Robby's mom in a bar where she's about to have lunch or dinner or whatever. You know, girls got to eat with some random guy. And Johnny's ex running off to bars seems to be a habit. And Johnny starts lecturing her about it. But more importantly, the whereabouts of her son, which she finds hilarious because she says this is the first time that Johnny is actually aware of where his son is. She tells Johnny, "I can't make him go to school. I can't make him do anything anymore." And Johnny says, "Well, then he can come live with me. I'll make him go to school." But she cracks up at that because Johnny isn't an actual dad. He has no parenting skills. But when she's laughing at him, he yells at her saying, "Well, at least I haven't given up on him." And she flips out at him because she's always been there for Robby. Anytime a momentous occasion in his life has happened, she's been there, and Johnny hasn't. So Johnny just got told off by 2 people in his life. And the other person in his life currently is Miguel, who has gone to school and is talking with Eli and Dimitri about how he's going to have to give up karate, which Dimitri thinks is a great idea because it was giving him self-confidence. And in Dimitri's opinion, self-confidence only got people beat up. But the group study session in the library is interrupted by Kyler and the bully version of Fortune Feimster, the comedian. They start picking on the group and really making fun of Eli and his cleft lip. And unbeknownst to Kyler, Samantha had watched it all go down, and she was not amused. And the two had plans to go on a movie date, which is amazing considering that Kyler is able to get any girl with the hairstyle he's choosing. I mean, poor Eli can't help his lip. Kyler can help that hair. So he really should be grateful, but he's not. And when he goes to the movies with Sam really doesn't want anything to do with him. He tries to make some moves on her, but she tells him, "I saw what you did in the library to those kids." He lies to her, saying, "Yeah, well, we're friends. Don't worry about it." And he continues to persist, but she tells him to stop. But he continues getting a little too handsy, and that's when she busts out the karate. leaving him in the movies. So that's what Sam did after school. Miguel after school is kind of a broken man. He gets picked up by his mom, and she attempts to take him to the movies, which is kind of ironic, but he figures that it's just a distraction from karate. And since he knows that him getting bullied isn't going to stop, the thought of karate is upsetting him. Luckily for him, though, his mom kind of sees this and allows him to do karate. With a little help from Johnny, who realized that the only person who hasn't abandoned him is Miguel. And Johnny headed to Miguel's house, knocked on the door, and pleaded with his mother to give him one more chance and let him teach her son karate, and she agrees. So, Miguel is allowed to go back to training with Johnny. But Johnny's nemesis, Daniel, has spent most of the morning obsessed with Dickgate, although he's got to get on track because he's got a meeting with an advertising agency. And they show him their latest commercial for his main rival, Tom Cole, and it's obvious that Tom is taking shots at Daniel. Daniel gives out bonsai trees. This guy is giving out a cactus, pointing out that we're in the middle of a drought and it takes a lot of water to water a bonsai. He also pokes fun at the fact that Daniel's whole shtick is karate, so he goes with the patriotic theme. And that's one thing that really bothers Daniel. No one seems to think that the whole karate gimmick is real. They all think it's a gimmick. And he has to remind the women, no, I was actually a 2-time champ. But when he sees this advertisement, he gets really pissed off and heads to Tom Cole's to confront the guy. And Tom seems like a douchebag, poking fun at Daniel for the whole karate gimmick. Even though Daniel reminds him that it's real, he still mocks him. But Daniel's not amused. It seems like Tom kind of makes amends, saying, look, it's just a commercial, don't take it personally. There's room in this area for 2 Auto Kings. Hey, how about I get you a boba tea? But Daniel says, no, I'm good. And that's when Tom says, yeah, you're probably full from eating all that dick. And that is the straw that breaks the camel's back. And Daniel hits him with a spinning heel kick that knocks his boba tea out of his hand and shuts everybody in that auto dealership up. The next day, things are going much better for Daniel. Sam is now talking to him and tells everybody that Kyler's probably not going to be in the picture anymore. And he tries to hide it, but Daniel's relieved. But when he heads to work, the 2 guys that had painted over the dick on the billboard show Daniel what they found on that billboard. And it's a bunch of flyers for Cobra Kai, and now Daniel is fully aware of who painted that dick. Thank you so much for watching this recap. Please consider subscribing to the channel. If you don't see the next video up in the corner, don't worry, I'll get it up in a couple days. Hit thumbs up if you liked the video, hit thumbs down if you didn't, and be nice in the comments section.